It's Platinum Pass time. We're talking about the 25K, whatever it's called,
Pokerstars Players Championship.
That's the one. It's a 25K buy-in, but there are a lot of people who would never consider playing a 25K buy-in in there because PokerStars gave away about 300 Platinum Passes, which means a full expense-paid trip and buy-in to the tournament, which drew a lot of the sharks, of course.
Yeah.
And we have a matchup here of one of those sharks against a Platinum Pass winner, and the shark is going to try to do what sharks do, take advantage of the Platinum Pass winner. We're going to see if it's going to work.
I mean, it's pretty exciting. The shark in this case is Kalidou So. He's got 1.6 million in earnings, including an 800K score. He's up there in the Hendon mobs, you know what I'm saying. And the guy he's up against is Christopher Putz, is that right? Yeah, and Christopher Putz, at least on Hendon mob, has something like $85 or something like that. He's got very little Hendon mob scores. That doesn't mean to say he's not a good poker player. He may be a high stakes cash game player for all we know, but he's got almost
an online guy.
Right, he's got almost no live tournament scores, like really almost none at all. That's got to be meaningful to So, because of course he can look everyone up and know what they have, know who they are.
Right, and that is an interesting dynamic, which is probably why it was suggested by Giannis Selenidis on Twitter. You know what to do when you suggest a hand for the breakdown. Include a YouTube link and make sure you timestamp the puppy.
The thing that's important, though, is to see the train that's coming behind you, because if you don't see it, it's going to run you right over. It's the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train.
Can we get the graphics guys to?
Yeah, it's going to. No, they got it.
There's a train
right through here.
Okay.
Guys, right through here.
3D. Put on your 3D
it's
glasses
gonna be awesome.
for that one.
Yeah, it's the Nitrogen Sports Poker Train, which, of course, is Nitrogen Sports Poker. That's where we play. That's where we want to see you guys playing, of course. Now, you got to use the link in the description when you play on Nitrogen. That gets you access to our monthly Poker Guys tournament. There's 1,000 buy-ins guaranteed. Usually get like 80 players, which means a huge overlay. Of course, it's a Bitcoin-only poker site, which means, of course, super fast transactions. You get your money out in 90 minutes, way faster than those other guys.
Man, you really sped through all that stuff. Just like the train. The train is fast because the site is good.
Yeah.
Use the link in the description if you didn't hear when you sign up, or else you don't get access to any of that stuff. Also, it makes us look good, and you want to do that, right?
Come on.
All right, let's get to the hand.
Jeez, rules.
Right now,
doesn't make
still
any sense.
200, 500 with a 500 big blind ante.
I'm voting with you. If they make a vote, you have my vote.
Christopher Putz has raised with jacks. Kalidou So's got king queen.
He has muscle pain. He got injured in the NBA, and he really needs a massage
So
now. He feels back pain because of the chair.
That's a re-raise.
Don't be too straight with the rules. This bullshit.
Right.
Bougie.
He's got position now.
Don't be straight up with the rules. The rules are made to be changed.
He doesn't know bougie.
I don't know bougie. What is bougie?
Upper class.
Upper class. Yeah, I know upper class.
Too upper class.
Bourgeoisie, it's French.
Borghesia in Italian. Yeah.
Ooh, I love pasta with Borghese.
Next time.
Oh, that was a hand. Oh, damn, my bad.
So action back on the original
I
raise up.
realized we had the hand going on. What kind of cheese is this one?
It's not that bad. It's not blue cheese.
It's not?
It's not.
That's looking like a call.
Yep. And that means we go heads up to the flop. 10-7-6. Good flop for jacks. Putz a 3-1 favorite. Playing in float. Checks to the guy with the pre-flop betting lead. Two Platinum Pass winners in this pot.
Winter is coming. 3,600. Winter is coming, guys. Winter is fucking. We need a double over here. It's time. It's time.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
We're cheering here.
Oh my God.
Put's taking a little time here, but I think this is a pretty easy, clear call.
Winter is coming for my chin. The White Walkers are coming.
The White Walkers are over here, bro. April, I can't wait.
I think when you take your time there, you can induce another bet.
So 3,600 apiece. Turn card is a 5.
It's a great card that you know, when you sit there and think and seem like, oh, maybe you're not sure if you should call there or not, you can get another bet out of your opponent.
Putz checks a second time.
You do have to be a little bit worried about overpairs bigger than yours. You did get 3-bet pre-flop. But the majority of the time, you're going to be up against king-queen and ace-queen and ace-king and ace-jack.
So does fire again. 7,200.
The hard part's dodging the river.
Putz makes the call. This hand going to the river. 30,000 in the middle. So has 34K behind. The river card is an 8. The board gets a little bit straightier.
He does dodge the river. But yeah, that straighty board is a little troublesome for pocket jacks. And if So makes a big bet on the river, Putz is going to be in a real spot.
I love it. We love it.
So a reminder of the action here. So 3-bet pre, continued flop, barrel turn, just has king high.
Thanks, Paul.
And he shoves river. A huge bluff from Kaladu So. Everything he's got overbets the pot. And Putz with the decision. How comfortable do you feel with jacks here against a guy who's blasted on every street?
Pretty uncomfortable. Not bicycle with no seat on it uncomfortable, but uncomfortable.
Don't you just hate that feeling? That feeling when you're sitting there, you're Kaladu So, you have king high, you're way out of line, you've moved in on the river and the guy is thinking about it and you're like, damn it, this is the worst moment of my life. I hate this, I hate everything about this. It's 25K buy-in, it's a big deal, it's a terrible moment, but should Kaladu be in this spot? Should Putz be in this spot? What should have happened in this hand?
Okay, that's a cool question. So I guess we'll just rewind and get back to pre-flop and just work our way through. It's perfectly fine for So, I think, to 3-bet king-queen here. It's fine for him to call, too. They're deep enough, a call is reasonable. But a 3-bet is totally cool.
I mean, it's going to work a lot of the time. This is a high leverage spot. This is a 25K tournament. It's a big deal for most of the players who are playing it. And as we can see, there's not even the consideration of a 4-bet for Putz with jacks here. And I wouldn't either at these stack depths, which shows the power of this 3-bet. He's going to win so frequently post-flop just by 3-betting here. It's definitely a plus EV play in this spot. But we get to the flop, the turn, and the river, and things change.
Yeah, I mean, the flop bet makes a lot of sense. He's going to want to continue. He doesn't have a whole lot working for him, really, does he? And so why not take a shot here, hope it all works out. He's betting small. He's got to know a lot of time he's going to get called once. And so he can't just fire and give up that often anyway. And especially in this event, it's day one. As we're saying, it's a 25K buy-in. And this, by the way, Putz is a Platinum Pass winner, meaning he didn't pay for this. He won it somehow. He either was gifted it, or he won an event online or something like that, like a satellite. But he didn't put up $25,000. If So knows this, that's another really good reason to bet the turn. I like that he bets the turn. Just put a lot of pressure. It's sort of saying, do you really want to do this? Because we're doing this.
I mean, that's the entirety of this hand, right? That's what So's doing, because So is not a Platinum Pass winner, we think. We at least know that he's got 1.6 million in tournament winnings, including an 800K score. So we think this guy is like a legit pro who is coming in here like many players were, saying, okay, I'm going to push her on the Platinum Pass winners because that's where the money is. So that's what So looks like he's doing here. There are a couple fundamental problems on the flop and the turn with that. Although it makes sense to continue, you would probably bet aces and kings on the flop. You'd probably bet them again on the turn. But from a traditional perspective, Putz certainly has a range advantage. Putz is more likely to have sets, more likely to have two pair, more likely to have the flop straight. So that's a bit of a problem for this line.
I mean, he's got the high-end range advantage. You know, like he's got the nuttier hands for sure, right? Almost, he's got more of them. At the same point, Putz doesn't have aces or kings or even queens nearly as much as So does, and that's good for So anyway.
That helps, but it's not. I mean, this is not a board you love triple barreling with aces or kings on, you know?
It's hard to argue that. At the same point, So is probably 3-betting. If he's 3-betting king, queen, he's probably also 3-betting all the hands that also make him all the nutted hands on this board, right? He's probably 3-betting tens, he's probably 3-betting sevens, he's probably 3-betting sixes. So that's good at least.
I think that it's a little bit more questionable, the sevens and sixes. Tens I agree with, but sevens and sixes people like to set mine and they don't block anything. Like tens is more pure value. Sevens and sixes is kind of like I want to give myself more of an opportunity to win by 3-betting rather than set mining.
Yeah, but that's like king, queen too, no?
I mean, no, king, queen blocks big things. That's a big deal.
I mean, sure, but ultimately in both cases you're raising and you're hoping, like if you get 4-bet, you're going to throw up a little bit in your mouth and hate your life, right? In both cases you really hope to take it down right there, but you're going to have a massive advantage post-flop, especially when you're trying to apply pressure to the Platinum Pass winner. So I expect he would be 3-betting that and probably suited connectors as well. So I think he can actually have, I believe anyway, he can have all the nutted hands, including the nuts 8-9 suited here.
I think that's certainly possible. I just think Putz is more likely to have those.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we're going to fight later. And that will determine what is the truth, because that is how you do it. Feats of strength.
Fantastic.
Happy Festivus, everybody. All right, so let's get to the river.
Yeah.
Where So makes this move. He puts in 34K, his remaining stack, into a 30K pot. I think everything he did up until now is fine. I think this is, from a logical perspective, and I think I learned this term in the dictionary, it's garbage. This is a logically garbage play. It's a pure pressure play.
Yeah.
There's no way that So is going to bet 35K into 30K his entire tournament if he has aces or kings here, which is the story he was telling before, by the way. He might not even bet a set of tens. That's something we debated on our podcast because, of course, Putz has plenty of straights in his range. Maybe he leads some of them, but you would be afraid that it would be so obvious if you let a straight. Like Putz has all of the gut shots that turn into straights that also had pairs. He also has pocket nines in his range. It seems like a really bad time to do this.
He also has pocket eights, by the way, which is not an automatic call on this board, but it's a pretty straightforward one if you really think about it. There's very few hands that are beating you. It's only pocket tens and pocket nines, or I guess anything with a 9 in it. But there aren't going to be very many nines out there for So to have ultimately, right?
Right.
So if you're sitting there from Putz's point of view anyway, like he can have so many strong hands. I agree with you. It's hard to imagine that So can shove almost anything here that isn't nutted. And by nutted, I mean like a 9.
Right.
Like
I mean,
a straight.
Maybe So has Jack 9 suited that he decided to take this line with. But
maybe.
I don't imagine So would bet nines on the turn. I don't see any value in So betting nines on the turn.
That is the problem,
So he doesn't have pocket nines, which is the most likely 9 for him to have.
Is he really going to shove pocket tens? Maybe, but is he going to shove 34,000 all in with pocket tens?
No, he's going to bet smaller with a hand like that, for sure.
He's targeting a hand like ace 10 suited or jacks or something like that, right? Or even pocket eights, which would have got there on the river, made a set, and now probably feel like they are obligated to call because they're so high up in their distribution. But that's it. There's not much else you could even target, and certainly not for 34,000. So I don't think he's going to spend 34,000 here. I think he'd make a normal size value bet if he was wider than this. And so that makes it so much easier to not fold and at least consider calling as Putz.
Right, and that's what Putz is doing, which So obviously hates. Now, maybe we're not giving So enough credit. Maybe So bets this much if he has a 9 or even if he has a set of tens. Still, we can see he has king, queen. That means he bets this much with so many bluffs that he's probably unbalanced towards bluffs anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a pure pressure play, right?
There's 16 combinations of king, queen here, right? Just of 9s and 10s alone, there's 9 total combinations. Yeah. That alone is a problem. You know, you need to have a lot more value, and clearly there's going to be way more bluffs. We can see that. The fact that So is doing this probably means he puts pressure on people. Probably Putz has been noticing that. They've been at the same table for a few hours, most likely, because this is day 1 and it's only like level 3 here. So I don't know, you put that all in, it feels like even though you only have jacks and it's sort of like you can't beat anything but a bluff.
It's kind of the bottom of your range by now.
At the same point, what can he ever have that beats you? It's so hard for him to have a hand that beats you.
Right, so Putz is figuring this all out, it looks like. I mean, let's see if he actually pulls the trigger, because this is what So is counting on. Maybe even if Putz can put it all together, he doesn't pull the trigger because he's a Platinum Pass winner. This is a huge opportunity he might never have again.
Right.
That is what So is counting on. Let's see if it works.
I haven't even decided in my heart who I want to win this hand. I respect both positions.
Of course, and if Putz finds the call, Kaladu So will be eliminated.
I think that's another reason why you tend to put him on a hand that has you beat here. Tournament life on the line, day one of a 25K buy-in.
And blinds up after this hand.
We don't have food, bro. You're starving.
There's the call, the one-chip call.
Wow, Putz finds the call. And so, we lose a player. Kaladu So eliminated.
Good game.
Okay.
He did it. He made the call.
That's a good call based on all of the logic that we thought of there. It's like, well, So doesn't really ever have it, right? I mean,
Mostly
is he
not.
only ever betting that size as a bluff? Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
At the same point, how many times in poker terms do you see someone say, I know I'm folding the best hand, right?
Right.
I'm sure you're bluffing here, but they still fold.
It
right?
happens to me in like $40 tournaments. You know, so this is a 25K, so it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to work a
Yeah.
lot anyway. Sometimes you just don't need to tell a good story. But this time, today, for Christopher Putz, a good story needed to be told. It didn't happen, and he made a great, great call. But what
Yeah.
do you guys think about the play from both players? Do you like So's massive aggressiveness all the way through the hand? He basically four-barreled this, right, if you include pre-flop. Do you like the way Putz played it, just playing it relatively passively, which is understandable,
Sure.
but ultimately deciding to call all the way down and call the all-in on the river? Do you think that's good or bad? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to see what you have to say.
And we just briefly touched on pre-flop, flop, and turn in this video. If you want to know more about the entirety of the hand and our thoughts on the entire thing, including more thoughts about the Platinum Pass situation and all of the stuff, you got to check out our podcast where whenever we do a hand, we go in depth on every street. Every
Yes.
decision is looked at through a microscope, a poker guy's microscope,
true.
which patent pending. Anyway, you got to check out the podcast, the breakdown presented by the Poker Guys. You'll love it.
Yeah, I mean, you probably will.
Yeah.
So check it out for sure. It's also free. You're welcome. Now, if you want to see another really cool hand where someone is trying to apply massive pressure with a triple barrel bluff, we have one for you. It's also from an EPT event, except there's more pressure because there's only 18 players left. This is Douglas Souza against Raffaele Sorrentino. Check it out right up here. There's a lot of money on the line in this spot. It's a great hand.
It is really cool, and what else is cool is subscribing to YouTube channels, especially this YouTube channel.
Right here.
So go ahead and subscribe.